Good morning to all. So in the last class we discussed about the chapter The Letters from Mothers of Nanjammarumbu to the Supreme Court by M.A. Rahman, the first part of that chapter. So in this class we have the second part of that chapter, which is in the form of this letter. So this letter is about the social problems created by the poisonous chemical, which is the endosulfan. So in the last class we discussed about some major incidents and some major issues caused by these kinds of endosulfan. So in this class we have to focus on the second part of that chapter. So the vast Nanjammarumbu lies at the heart of this Minjipadavu mountain in Adur. At the top of the hill, the full breast of the earth, here lies Kerala Plantation Corporation's Minjipadavu estate, which is the Adur estate. Standing here, one can see the river Payashwani flowing between the laterite hills to the northeast and the dense forest of the valleys. To enter Nanjammarumbu, one has to wait at the closed checkpost for hours at length. More than 500 families live on the crest of the hill and the small villages in the valley. So here we have a clear idea regarding the place, which is the Nanjammarumbu. So Nanjammarumbu is a kind of the area in this near to the Adur village, in which it is endosulfan affected area. So another important fact is that the vast Nanjammarumbu lies at the heart of this Minjipadavu mountain in Adur. Kerala Plantation Corporation's Minjipadavu estate, which is the Adur estate, lies there. The huge cement tank in which the endosulfan was prepared acts as landing place for helicopters. It is situated in Nanjammarumbu. So here there is a kind of, we have to focus on two important factors. So the first one is regarding the place, which is the Nanjammarumbu, and also regarding the estate, the Adur estate or the Minjipadavu estate. And one important thing regarding the place, which is the Nanjammarumbu, is that the river Payashwani is flowing between the laterite hills to the northeast and the dense forest of the valleys. And to enter the Nanjammarumbu, one has to wait at the closed checkpost for hours at length. More than 500 families live on the crest of the hill and the small villages in the valley. And also the huge cement tank in which the endosulfan was prepared is situated in Nanjammarumbu, and this is also a landing place for helicopters. So another important factor regarding the place, the Nanjammarumbu, is that there is a huge cement tank is situated in this hilly area, which means the endosulfan was prepared in this huge cement tank, and also near to that there is a place for the helicopters in order to land. So in the last class we discussed about the one of the important cause of this kind of these issues, which is in the Nanjammarumbu, was that the excess amount of this endosulfan was buried in Nanjammarumbu. So this is also a kind of important factor regarding the cause of these kinds of problems. So here at the top of this mountain there is a huge cement tank in which the endosulfan was prepared is situated, and also this is also a landing place for the helicopters. Around this, the pure water veins of Nanjammarumbu, which flow clearly between the crevices of rocks. These fountains of water trickle in streams to the villages in the valley. They overflow over the topsoil and the roads. Not far from here are the two man-made tunnels in Nanjammarumbu. So a tunnel means a kind of turangam. So idile parayunnu surangam, kannadayil surangam ennu koodi parayunnundu. So this is also a kind of important factor regarding the place, the Nanjammarumbu. Enclosed by the stone steps, overlaid with leaves and foliage, embedded with the roots of huge trees, form these fountains of water. Streams flow to Bellur village in the left. This village also teems with the endosulfan victims, and on the right towards the Adur village, which includes the Kaithod. So regarding the place, which is the Nanjammarumbu, we have to focus on the different places which is near to this place, which is the Nanjammarumbu. So the first one is the Adur estate, Adur village, and second one is the Bellur village. So both these places are just near to the Nanjammarumbu. So the Bellur village is just left side of this the Nanjammarumbu, and also the Adur village, which includes the Kaithod which is situated to right side of this Nenjambarambu. And organic farmers laid out this natural pond in order to preserve the virginity of the soil. The water that accumulates in these tunnels quenches the thirst of these villagers in the valley during the scorching summer. And the villagers testify that the remaining endosulfan was buried somewhere in the depth of these streams, following between the tanks and the underground tunnels. So there is a kind of fear in the villagers that the excess amount of this endosulfan was buried in the heart of this Nenjambarambu. So the place where this river originates, and also they made the tunnel for storing the water. So basically this is also a kind of fear in their mind. So basically in this paragraph we have to focus on two important factors. So the first one is regarding the cement tank, the huge cement tank which is prepared to make the endosulfan, and also the place for landing the helicopters. And second one is regarding the water, the amount of water which flows between these kinds of hill. So they just collects this water, stores this water with, to the man-made tunnels, So these are the important factors that we should keep in mind. And also very long ago, one of the streams of this hill was diverted to a village in the valley through the exertions of a hard-working organic farmer, Mamadacha, who lived on the side of the hill and dug the tunnels. Armed with only a spade, he diverted a stream to the village down below. Thus, this village acquired the name of Kaithod, which means a stream made by one's own hand. So here we have a kind of a story regarding the origin of this place, which is the Kaithod. So a farmer who is the Mamadacha, he just diverted the origin of this water source to another place, and later it became known by the name the Kaithod. So why the name Kaithod was came in is that a stream made by one's own hand. And also the Mamadacha's daughter Hajira lives in the banks of this stream. Hajira's children were born to endosulfan victims, and one of them is a child with an abnormally enlarged head, who is the Umaybd Sharia. And the stream which her father had transformed into the blessing for the village has now entered her homestead, strewing the curse. And also the endosulfan buried high above has flowed downstream. Today Kaithod village seems with the such children. Umayd Sharia, who endured the torturous pain for 5 years, passed away in July 2012. So here we have a kind of incident which happened in this place, which is in Kaithod. So in the last paragraph we discussed about the place, the Nenjambarambu, and in this paragraph we have the another place which is the Kaithod. So regarding this place, he lived on the side of this hill and he dug the tunnels, and armed with only a spade, he diverted the stream to the village down below. Thus, the village acquired the name Kaithod, which means a stream made by one's own hand. So, this is regarding the history behind the Kaithod, the place Kaithod. And also regarding the family of this Mamadachas. So, the Mamadacha's daughter Hajira lived on the banks of this stream, and Hajira's children were born as the victims of this endosulfan, and one of her children, Umaybd Sharia, is with an abnormally enlarged head. The stream with her, which her father had transformed into a blessing for the villagers, has now turned to be a curse, because the endosulfan buried high above the has flowed the downstream. So we already discussed about this burial of these kinds of endosulfan, the excess amount of this endosulfan at the top of this hill. So that remaining endosulfan was flowed down to this along with this the stream of this water, and it became a curse for this family, the Mamadacha's family. The stream which her father had transformed into a blessing for the villagers has now turned to be a curse, because the endosulfan buried high above has flowed downstream. Meanwhile, it affected the Kaithod village adversely. Consequently, Umayd Sharia, who endured the torturous pain for 5 years, passed away in July 2012. So this is also another incident which was occurred in the place, the Kaithod. So in the next paragraph, it was not the ignorance of any agricultural scientist which gave rise to their plight. On the contrary, it is the result of the fatal, unscrupulous greed and terror-spewing activity of the government which misinterprets the scientific knowledge and sells itself out into the market. And the plantation corporation, the agricultural scientist and the Central Agricultural Department and the manufacturers of endosulfan cannot evade the responsibility for this. So the manufacturers of this endosulfan and also a group of people who is working behind these kinds of this kinds of chemical which is the endosulfan, so they should take the responsibility of all these kinds of problems, the social problems, the health issues, and also there are lots of people were dead due to these kinds of problems. So they should take the responsibility for these issues, and also they cannot evade the responsibility for this. Directed by the Supreme Court, the Community Health Department of Calicut Medical College, which includes the Dr. C. Ravindran, Dr. Prabhakaran, Dr. Thomas Beena, Dr. E. Jayakrishna, they conducted a epidemiology study of ICMR, and they discovered high levels of endosulfan in blood samples from the Nenjamparambı. So ഈ പാരഗ്രാഫിൽ നമുക്ക് നോക്കാനുള്ളത് രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. ഒന്ന്, ഇത് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ അവർ ഇത്തരത്തിൽ നടന്ന കുറേ മരണങ്ങൾക്കും കുറേ സോഷ്യൽ പ്രോബ്ലംസിനൊക്കെ അവർ അതിനെ ഒരു ഉത്തരവാദിത്തം ഏറ്റെടുക്കുക എന്നൊരു സംഭവം അവിടെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ സുപ്രീം കോടതിയുടെ ഒരു നിർദ്ദേശപ്രകാരം ഒരു സ്റ്റഡി നടക്കുകയാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ ബേസിൽ ഈ എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ്റെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് അത് പ്രശ്നമുണ്ടാക്കുന്നതെന്ന് അറിയാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. സോ അക്കോർഡിംഗ് ടു ദാറ്റ് സ്റ്റഡി, the result of that study was the high levels of endosulfan in blood samples from the Nenjamparambı. So ഈ നെഞ്ചമ്പറമ്പ് എന്ന പ്ലേസിൽ നോക്കിയ കുറേ ബ്ലഡ് സാമ്പിൾസിലൊക്കെ ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ്റെ ഒരു കണ്ടൻറ്റ് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുകയാണ്. സോ ഇതൊരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ഫാക്ടറാണ് റിഗാർഡിംഗ് ദി സ്റ്റഡി ബിഹൈൻഡ് ദിസ് എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ. ആൻഡ് regarding this plantation corporation, the agricultural scientists, the Central Agriculture Department and the manufacturers of endosulfan, they could not evade the responsibility for this. And also an epidemiology study was conducted for ICMR under the Community Health Department of Calicut Medical College as per the direction of the Supreme Court, and they discovered high levels of endosulfan in blood samples from the Nenjamparambı. So this is also an important factor regarding the study behind the endosulfan, and also some true fact regarding that. Apart from this, the Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environmental, which means the KSCSTE, in its study conducted to measure the endosulfan levels in the water and soil in this area, discovered the endosulfan particles in Nenjamparambı. So അടുത്ത ഒരു പഠനം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് സോയിൽ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ വാട്ടർ, ഈ രണ്ട് ഇതിൽ കണ്ടന്റിലും ഈ എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ്റെ കണ്ടന്റ് ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് അറിയാൻ വേണ്ടി നടത്തിയ ഒരു പഠനമായിരുന്നു. സോ അതിലും ഈ എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ്റെ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ഈ നെഞ്ചമ്പറമ്പ് എന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് കണ്ടെത്തുവാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ ദിസ് സ്റ്റഡി വാസ് കണ്ടക്റ്റഡ് ബൈ ദി കേരള സ്റ്റേറ്റ് കൗൺസിൽ ഫോർ സയൻസ്, technology and environment. So that's also another important factor regarding the study behind this endosulfan. The lifespan of alpha endosulfan is a mere 88 days, and in the case of beta endosulfan it is up to 40 days. And the presence of endosulfan in the soil even after 10 years after the aerial spraying was stopped shocked the scientists. Kamalaksha Kokal, the deputy director of KSCSTE, who conducted the study, says that since it remains in the soil of Nenjamparambı, even after so much time has elapsed, there is every possibility of it having contaminated the food chain. From plants, it must have entered the vegetables and fruits, then animals, then the human body, and wreaked the havoc. This is to be further studied. if this observation is placed along with the 112 ppb and the 172 ppb discovered in the blood samples from Nanjambarambu, as disclosed in the study conducted by Calicut Medical College, it will be revealed that the countless deformed half children who led a death in life are a creation of this endosulfan. So these are some important factors regarding the study which is based on the endosulfan. So basically we have two different types of this endosulfan, which includes the alpha endosulfan and the beta endosulfan. So the lifespan of this alpha endosulfan is about 88 days, and in the case of beta endosulfan it is 40 days. So this is also an important factor regarding the use of this endosulfan. And the presence of endosulfan in the soil even after 10 years after the aerial spraying was stopped shocked the scientists, which means after 10 years stopping this spraying this excess amount of this endosulfan in the Nanjambarambu, after 10 years they found the presence of these particles of this endosulfan in the soil of the Nanjambarambu. So it was a shocking experience for the scientists who behind these studies. And according to the Kamalaksha Kokal, who is the deputy director of KSC STE, who conducted this study, says that since it remains in the soil of Nanjambarambu, even after so much time has elapsed, there is every possibility of it having contaminated the food chain from plants, and it must have entered the vegetables and fruits, then animals, then the human body, and wreaked the havoc. This is to be further studied. So according to the deputy director of this study, he says that the food chain in the place has been contaminated, which means the food chain became broken up with the content of these kinds of particles, which is the endosulfan particles. So it is also a kind of a great important factor regarding the endosulfan, the diverse effect of the adverse effect of this endosulfan, and this is to be further studied. If this observation is placed along with the 112 ppb and also the 172 ppb discovered in the blood samples from Nanjambarambu, as disclosed in the study conducted by the Calicut Medical College, it will be revealed that the countless deformed half children who lead a death in life are a creation of this endosulfan. So endosulfan ആണ് ഇതിന് ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള പലവിധമായ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾക്ക് പൂർണ്ണമായ കാരണമെന്ന് ഇത്തരം പഠനത്തിലൂടെയൊക്കെ തെളിയിക്കപ്പെട്ടു. So this is also a kind of important study which is based on the use of this endosulfan. And regarding this paragraph, we have to focus on two important factors. So the first study was to know about the content of the endosulfan in the blood samples. Second one was regarding the to examine the content of this the endosulfan particles in the soil and water. So in both these cases, the content of this endosulfan was found with the different types of studies, and it means that this is the major reason behind all these kinds of health problems and the unnatural death occurred in Nanjambarambu. So even after 10 years after the banning of this endosulfan, the content of that particles of this endosulfan particles were present in the Nanjambarambu. So this is also a shocking result from these studies. And the Central Agriculture Department, which is manifesting the undue haste to export the endosulfan, is actually playing with the people's life. They never try to resist this monstrous life destructive phenomenon. So basically after the study which was conducted by the Kerala State Council for the Science, Technology and Environment, after that the Central Agriculture Department also conducted a study behind this endosulfan. So their intention was to export this endosulfan, and actually they were playing with the people's life. They never tried to resist this monstrous life destructive phenomenon, and the mercenary profiteers amongst the academic community of the agricultural scientists who are ignorant about the geography or culture of Kasaragod, or in the inherent contradictions embedded in the fact that the plantation corporation is spread over 11 panchayats, are trying to deprive the victims of even the basic humanitarian consideration they deserve. They countered the studies conducted by Sunita Narayan of CSC in 2000 and Dr. Habibullah Said of NIOH in 2012 in the same manner. Now that the Calicut Medical College study, which says endosulfan is the root cause of all these severe health problems, has found the light of day, the manufacturers of the pesticide have issued notice against the doctors in the area, and the NIOH study of 2002 has unequivocally proved that these diseases are caused by the endosulfan. The 92-page report was suppressed when the Central Agriculture Department hastily furnished a report exonerating the Plantation Corporation of all culpability and submitted it to the Supreme Court. Thus, they steered clear of trouble. So basically, there is a kind of change in all these kinds of reports. Basically, the play done by these exporters, the Central Agriculture Scientists, and also the Central Agriculture Department, they just played against all these kinds of studies in order to make their trouble to a maximum low level. So basically, the NIOH study of 2002 has proved that these diseases are caused by the endosulfan. So it is also another important factor regarding this endosulfan issues, in which the NIOH study of 2002 which proved that these diseases, every forms of these diseases which was affected in the Nanjambaram area are caused by this endosulfan. And the writer even openly state that the CA department suppressed this 92-page report, and it is they who steered the clear of trouble. So ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു റിപ്പോർട്ട് പോയാൽ ഈ എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ എന്ന ഒരു കെമിക്കലിൻ്റെ അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു മാനുഫാക്ചറിങ് തന്നെ നിലയ്ക്കുമെന്ന ഒരു ഭീതിയുള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് അത് മാനുഫാക്ചർ ചെയ്യുന്ന, അത് എക്സ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന കമ്പനി തന്നെ അത് സപ്രസ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുന്ന ഒരവസ്ഥ ഇവിടെ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ ഹാഡ് ദി ഗവൺമെൻറ് ടേക്കൺ ദി ഇനിഷ്യേറ്റീവ് ടു കണ്ടക്ട് ദി ഓട്ടോപ്സി ഓഫ് ദി വിക്ടിംസ് who are dying day by day and undertaken legal measures to ascertain the levels of endosulfan in the fat accumulated in the internal organs of the victims, matter would have become easier and more scientific. So this is also important factor regarding the studies. So there are many studies were conducted behind these kinds of problems, and all these kinds of studies, the result was one of the most important one, in which they said that all these cause for all these kinds of diseases, all these kinds of unnatural death was the use of this endosulfan, the content of this endosulfan in the soil, in the water, in the blood samples of Nanjambaram. So that's a important factor regarding the use of this endosulfan, the social cause for all these kinds of problems. And the another important factor regarding the endosulfan, the manufacturers of endosulfan, is that they just diverted this case to another level by suppressing all these kinds of reports while they were going to submit this report in the Supreme Court. And had the government taken the initiative to conduct the autopsy of the victims who are dying day by day and undertaken the legal measures to ascertain the levels of endosulfan in the fat accumulated in the internal organs of the victims, its matters would have become easier and also more scientific. We are also trying to come into terms with another shocking contradiction. The Central University was allotted 300 acres of land in Periye by the government of this Kerala, and the land is acceptable to the university only if it is proved to be uncontaminated by endosulfan, and the pesticide issue is impacting the rights of this civil society. So another shocking contradiction referred to this affidavit is that the Central University was allotted 300 acres of land in Periya by the government of Kerala, and the situation was such that the land will be accepted only if it is uncontaminated by endosulfan. The pesticide issue is impacting the rights of the civil society. So the land of about 300 acres in Peria, which was allotted by the government of Kerala, and the situation was such that the land will be accepted only if it is uncontaminated by endosulfan. So in every situation, every content of this chapter, we have this endosulfan, which is a major cause for many kinds of these problems. The first part of this chapter was regarding the important causes, important victims, regarding the important after effects of this endosulfan, and the second part was regarding the geographical factors regarding the place, the Nanjambarambu, and also different kinds of studies based on this endosulfan issues. And we are now moving to the last part of this chapter. So now the villages of Kasaragod have become the setting for the macabre dance of death. On the one hand, there is a dread and the trepidation about the poison deposits in Nanjambarambu. On the other, the everyday dance of death. With this firm conviction that these reasons may suffice for endosulfan to be banned, we submit before the Supreme Court this affidavit on behalf of the infants of this Nanjambarambu. So this is the concluding part of this chapter, in which the villages of the Kasaragod have become the setting for the macabre of dance of death. So basically the villages, we already discussed about the place, the Nanjambarambu, and then the Kaithod, and also regarding the Bella. So all these kinds of villages, they became the place for the death, macabre of dance of death. So on the wall, now the villages of this Kasaragod have become the setting for the macabre of dance of death, and on the other hand, there is the dread trepidation about the poison deposits in the Nanjambarambu, and also the everyday dance of death should increase day by day, which means the content of this endosulfan, the content of the endosulfan in every aspect, including the soil, water, and blood. So this means that it affected many kinds of these people, especially the infants. So at the last, the ending sentence of this chapter, this lecture, is that the affidavit was submitted before the Supreme Court on the firm conviction that those reasons would be enough to ban the endosulfan. So the intention of this lecture is to ban the endosulfan, to ban these kinds of social kinds of these problems, thereby attaining the peaceful mind, especially in the place of this Nanjambarambu. Moreover, that the affidavit was on the behalf of the infants of the Nanjambarambu. So this affidavit was submitted on the behalf of the infants of this Nanjambarambu. So this is regarding the letter, which is the letters of mothers of Nanjambarambu to the Supreme Court. So the intention of this letter, the reason behind this letter, was to get the justice for these kinds of social problems caused, and also they conducted many kinds of this study behind these kinds of problems, and all this study they got only one result, which was that the major reason for all these kinds of problems was the endosulfan itself, and they submitted this affidavit before the Supreme Court on the firm conviction that for those reasons, all these kinds of problems and reasons, and also all the kinds of this results which was done by different kinds of this study, it should be enough to ban the endosulfan. Moreover, that the affidavit was on the behalf of these infants of this Nanjambarambu. So that's regarding this chapter. So in this class we discussed about the second part of this chapter. So basically in the second part of this chapter is focused on the place, the Nanjambarambu, the geographical features of this Nanjambarambu, basically different types of these issues based on this endosulfan, and also most importantly different kinds of studies which was conducted in order to get the major reason behind these kinds of this use of this endosulfan. And this all these kinds of results were shocking, in which the major reason for all these kinds of problems were the use of this endosulfan, the content of the endosulfan in the soil, in the water, in the blood, or in the place of this Nenjambarambu. So that's regarding this chapter. So in the next class we will be dealing just an overview of this chapter and a conclusion for this chapter, and also we will be discuss some important topics of areas of these questions that we should focus on. So that's for today. Thank you. Happy learning.